There will now be an opportunity for silent prayer or meditation. Thank you. You may be seated. The Secretary will read the order of this mini-plenary.
Debate on vote number 38, Tourism Appropriation Bill.
I will now recognize the Honourable the Minister of Tourism.
Sorry. House Chairperson, Honourable Deputy Minister, Honourable Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, Honourable Members, the DG for Tourism, the SA Tourism CEO and Chairperson of the Board, and all the members, representatives of SAT. Good afternoon, goeiemiddag, assalamu alaikum. It gives me great pleasure to present the Department of Tourism budget vote speech for the 24-25 financial year. I'm deeply honored to have been appointed as the Minister of Tourism again, as it affords me the opportunity to build on the work of the past 16 months and focus more on effective implementation. I want to start by thanking the entire tourism sector for all their hard work in keeping our tourism sector thriving. I also want to thank all our partners in advance for the work we will continue to do together to take tourism to greater heights. I also want to thank the Portfolio Committee for their recommendations in the ATC. The tourism sector is made up of the public sector and social partners, such as the private sector, communities who play a significant role in driving the growth of tourism. During the sixth administration, our mission is to elevate the profile of tourism as a key driver of economic growth and job creation, as identified in the National Development Plan and the Tourism Master Plan. We are now implementing the last financial year of the sixth administration, and the plan for the next seventh administration will be informed by the NDP and also the Tourism Sector Master Plan. We all know that the NDP envisages rising employment, productivity, and incomes as a way to ensure a long-term solution to achieve a reduction in inequality and improvement in living standards and ensuring a dignified existence for all South Africans. The NDP also gives expression to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, number 8, which is to promote inclusive and sustainable economic growth and employment and decent work for all. The Tourism Master Plan was approved by Cabinet in October last year, and it is a collaborative effort between the Department of Tourism and social partners, such as the private sector, labour, and community representatives. And this plan guides government and all our social partners on how we should act collectively on shared goals to deliver tourism as an economic activity and create jobs. The global tourism performance, according to the World Tourism Barometer released by the UN in May 2024, shows that there was an estimated increase of 33.4% of tourist arrivals globally in 2023. And the contribution of tourism also for 2023 was about 319 million jobs and 9.6%, which was also a growth of 8.2% compared to 2022. Likewise, the South African performance has seen a remarkable growth in 2023. A total tourist arrivals went up by 48.9% compared to 2022. Just in January this year, Between January and December this year, we welcomed 8.4 million tourists, of which 6.4 million came from the continent. Across all markets, we saw a notable increase in arrivals to South Africa from Asia, Europe, America, and the United Kingdom, and the Middle East. And then we've just seen the latest figures from January to May this year, 2024. We welcomed 3.8 million tourists. So in terms of the economic impact for South Africa, the total foreign direct investment grew by 27.5% to 95.1 billion in 23-24. And it's also worth noting that the rand value of international tourist spend has exceeded the pre-pandemic baseline of 90.7. The WTCC further reports that South Africa in 2023, the total travel and tourism sector contribution to employment was 1.3 million jobs, which is an increase of more than 5%. The domestic tourism is performing very well, and I want to thank all South Africans for exploring their own country and supporting our tourism sector. We need to continue to building a culture of travel domestically, though also we must make travel more accessible and affordable. We also need to ensure that our people travel more often and more frequently, and building an understanding of our varied cultures as we do so. So the domestic revenue for the past financial year reached 123.8 billion rand, an increase of 19%. Let me now turn to the budget for tourism. For the 24-25 financial year, the department's budget is 2.3 billion rand. 1.2 billion of the department goes to the main entity, South African Tourism, 266 million for the EPWP program, and 172 million for the various tourism incentive programs. So the largest part of our budget is allocated to SAT as an entity, and the department to market South Africa as a destination. The department is left with just over 1.1 billion rand to implement programs that support the most vulnerable in our society, including unemployed youth, SMMEs in rural villages and towns, and are targeted nationally. The department's program broadly include Working for Tourism program through EPWP. The Tourism Incentive Program supports greater destination competitiveness, transformation, and accelerated tourism and enterprise growth. So the EPWP is allocated 266 million for this current financial year, and we are targeting to create 5,820 job opportunities through this program. Then under our infrastructure project, we focus on tourism places, spaces, infrastructure routes, tourist experience development. And so for the 24-25 financial year, 22 community projects will be implemented, and some of them include the Matsila Lodge and the Tesani Lodge projects in Limpopo, the Mtonsi Lodge in the Eastern Cape, and the Mduli Gate project at the Kruger National Park. We also do maintenance. We've initiated a maintenance program targeting our national parks, and we've extended this also to provincial parks. Wildlife and safari remain a mainstay of our tourism offering, and we cannot allow these assets to fall into a state of disrepair. So last year, we spent 95 million rand on 25 maintenance projects in provinces of Limpopo, Eastern Cape, and Mpumalanga, Free State, and the Western Cape. And for this year, we have budgeted 81 million for maintenance in Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, the Northern Cape, and the Northwest. Now, the sector transformation and SMME development. As Chair one of the most impactful programs by the Department of Tourism is the Tourism Incentive Program. And for this year, we've allocated 172 million for the implementation of the following intervention: the Market Access Support Program, the Green Tourism Incentive Program, the Tourism Transformation Fund, and the Tourism Grading Support Program. We've introduced these incentives to stimulate the growth and development and transformation of the tourism sector. And just briefly about the Market Access Support Program, it offers partial financial support. Tourism Grading Council offers discounts up to 80%. The Green Tourism offers a partial grant for retrofitting. And then the tourism establishment can apply for funding up to 1 million rand. The Tourism Transformation Fund offers a combination of grant for new projects, and also the Tourism Equity Fund. The revised 1.2 billion rand was launched on the 6th of November and approved by Cabinet in September last year. And the fund is split to assist 80% existing businesses and 20% new businesses. And the skills development for this year, we plan to train 450 unemployed youth with various skills, with a total of 12 million rand, and then 2,300 tourism monitors with a budget of just over 140 million rand. And we will continue to work with our social partners to identify essential and demand-led skills to develop. On tourism safety, we've also made great progress here. We've revived the National Tourism Safety Forum, and we have had 4 meetings already. The department invested 174 million rand and created more than 2,300 jobs, and we will continue to do so. So for this financial year, we will be training and placing 2,305 tourism monitors in all 9 provinces: the Airports Company, the Isomangolisa, Imzuvelo, Zanbi, and Sandparks. Important initiative that we're also working on is air access. We need to get more international flights flying to our country. And in this regard, we are advocating for a nationally driven air access program that can work towards attracting more airlines to our country, and I will be presenting to Cabinet in the next few months a strategy how to do that. SAA has done very well by bringing back some of their flights, and we continue to engage with them. On the issue of visa, we acknowledge the significant progress has been made. 132 countries across the world can enter South Africa without requiring a visa for periods up to 90 days. But we continue to work closely with Vulindlela, together with the Home Affairs. I've set up a meeting with the new Minister of Home Affairs so that we can ease the visas for like countries for China, India, and also Nigeria. Under the tour operating licenses, which is under the Department of Tourism, Department of Transport, we've seen big improvement there. From June 2023 to June 2024, they held 19 adjudication committees meetings, and they've processed 952 applications. There's still a lot of work to be done on enhancing efficiency, but that's good progress. On marketing campaigns, we've got a tendency and we've got a fragmented marketing strategy in our country, and I've brought the sector and everybody together to deal with the fragmentation, and we will soon be launching our global marketing campaign. We also host, twice a year, we host 2 major events. We host the Africa Travel Indaba that we held in May in Durban, and we've seen major growth here with over 55 countries participating, and many more buyers came in this year. We also hosted the Meetings Africa Premier Business event, and again, it was very successful. Under our MICE strategy, which is the Meetings, Incentive, and Conferences, we have been successful in getting 9 bids, so far 19 bids, that will bring in at least 84.1 million to our country. Lastly, Chairperson, we As part of our APP, we need to do 2 tourism outreach programs, and we've already agreed to do India as one of the programs this year. On SAT internationally, together with the department, we plan to showcase the country at the Holiday World Show in Dublin, the destinations in London, World Travel Market, ITP Berlin 2025, and also the IMEX. House Chairperson, we have made great strides in tourism over the past year in working closely with our partners in the private sector and communities. And the department, together with the sector, will continue to make sure that we aggressively ramp up our marketing, because the competition is stiff, but we can also create a lot more jobs. I thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Honourable members, the first speaker to react to the budget is the Honourable Mananga Kabashe on behalf of the ANC.
Thank you very much, Honourable House Chair. Greetings to the honourable members in this mini plenary, together with the Minister and the Deputy Minister and the departmental executives led by the DG, including the South African Tourism Board. The budget vote 38 is tabled and debated during the month of July that coincides with the birthday month of President Mandela, equal this current government of national unity in this 7th term of parliament is similar to that of President Mandela. We dare not fail our voters. In 2023-24, the budget vote 38, together with the 2024-2025 annual performance plan of the Department of Tourism, was tabled by the department in a form of briefing, and the committee interrogated, deliberated, and finally adopted the report on the 15th of July 2024. Further, the committee made its own recommendation and considerations. The committee appreciated work done by the sixth term of Parliamentary Committee on Tourism and the reappointment of the same minister to the 7th term of the GNU to Tourism Department, paired with one of the longest-serving deputy minister that will assist on the smooth running of the department. It is worth noting that the department and South Africa Tourism still implement a number of projects that are pro-poor, which includes the Working for Tourism Infrastructure project and various skills training. Our second observation was that the department appropriated about 52% of its total budget to South Africa tourism. The department budget allocation over the medium term, we see an increase from 2.5 billion in 2023-2024 to 2.6 billion in 2026 to 2027. That includes transfers to South African tourism. We commit ourselves to monitor the spending of the budget in making sure that the money does follow function, as the bulk of it is for the marketing of the country and implementation of projects by entity and department. The policy mandate of the department derives from the Constitution and the Tourism Act number 3 of 2014. This includes the White Paper on Development and Promotion of Tourism of 1996 and other key policies, including Economic Reconstruction and Recovery Plan, which was adopted as a master plan in 2023, and the medium-term strategic framework, MTSF 2019 to 2024. The National Development Plan 2030 vision for our country recognizes tourism as one of the main drivers of employment creation and economic growth. We call upon private sector to make meaningful contribution on the sustainability of the tourism industry, which is mainly funded by government, in making sure that together we can achieve more. Honorable House Chairperson, on the department deliverables planned for the 2024-25 financial year, we would hold their monitoring and evaluation of infrastructure projects and skills development initiatives that impact on Blacks in general and Africans in particular, including prioritization of women, youth, as well as people with disabilities in tourism. The department continues in its endeavors to promote transformation in the sector. This is experienced by the opening of application for the 1.2 billion Tourism Equity Fund, which is targeted at emerging entrepreneurs. We encourage SMMEs to access incentive programs offered by the department. These include the Green Tourism Incentive Programs, which offered funding for SMMEs to save on both water and energy resources. We urge the department to improve awareness and assist SMMEs on the process of acquiring this fund. We encourage the department efforts towards challenges that were faced during COVID-19 through the Tourism Sector Recovery Plan, which was adopted into a master plan in 2023. The committee supports the hosting of a workshop by the department in 2025 on the sharing of best practices targeted African countries, with whom South Africa signed tourism agreement and strategic formation over the medium term, and these will be monitored by the committee. The department should emphasize on the importance of provinces and municipalities to prioritize budgeting for their own resort and common brands. These can easily be done through district development models. Honorable Minister, this grading incentive support program that assists SMMEs to grow their tourism business must feature in all departmental quarterly reports to the committee. Honorable Minister, Deputy Minister, and the DG. We look forward to further infrastructure skills development and incentives program and be taken through on details in our future meetings when the time comes. As I conclude, Chairperson, we continue to urge the department to fulfill its mandate despite limited resources. Increase on allocation of funds will follow when all budget allocated are spent and fully accounted for and translated into projects that are of benefit to South African voters. Further encourage all South Africans, thina sonke bahlali baseMzantsi Afrika, ukuthi sibe ama-tourists in our own country, including the members of this house. Singabeka imali esidlale ngayo itokfela, amabonus ethu nje sibeka i-percentage encane nje, ukuthi ke sithore eSouth Africa sibone ubuhle betourism bezwe lethu laseMzansi, ngaphambi kokuthi sihambe siye phesheya nakuzo zonke ezinye indawo, sishiya singalazi kahle izwekazi lethu elihle kangaka elinawo wonke inhlobo yezokungcebeleka. Sifundise futhi ke nabantwana bethu lokho kuzosiza nasezikoleni encourage ukuthi zifundiswe ukuthi itourism ibaluleke kangakanani, ukuthi itourism ibusiness, itourism iprofession, itourism indlela yabantu bethu yokuziphilisa endala engaqali namhlanje, kodwa nje ukuthi fanele sivuselele ukuthi senze lokho esidume ngakho esikwenza siziqhenye ngaso sonke isikhathi ukuze singabi nendlala emakhaya, sibe sakhele around izindawo ezinezindawo, bese kuthi ke labo abenza amabhizinisi abogus atholakala sesihlaza edlanzana elincane kulimala ama-tourists a-overcharge, bese ke department nakwi-security cluster basibophele laba benza lokho ukuze igama lethu hlale lihle njalo nasemazweni aphesheya kwezotourism. Ngiyabonga kakhulu House Chairperson and the members.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The next speaker is the Honourable Linda on behalf of the DA, and it is a maiden speech, Honourable Members.
House Chairperson, honourable members, South Africans. My message to the Department of Tourism is simple. Trek julle sokkies op. The 6th Parliament's Tourism Legacy Report and this budget present significant inadequacies in the Department's operations. But as we move into the 7th Parliament, we are hopeful that the dedicated Portfolio Committee, we can be poised to tackle these challenges head-on. Despite a decreasing budget, the Department underspent by 88 million rand in the 23-24 financial year. As we face further financial headwinds, we must maximise our limited budget effectively. The Department must invest carefully in ensuring that taxpayers' funds are spent wisely, while also growing the economy and creating jobs. Developing countries are building and growing their economies through their tourism sectors. It has been long South Africans' chance, and we trust that the Department is cognizant of its importance and how its successes will see growth to our GDP and small and medium enterprises. To this end, several strategies should be considered. Targeted marketing, by focusing on high potential markets and utilizing digital market to reach wider audiences cost effectively. Number 2, public-private partnerships. By collaborating with the private sector stakeholders, will leverage additional resources for tourism projects. Community-based tourism, investing in local initiatives that create jobs and sustain domestic economies. Infrastructure development, by prioritizing essential improvements in key tourist destinations to enhance visitor experiences. Sustainable tourism, by investing in practices that protect our natural resources and attract environmentally conscious travellers. For training and tourism sector management, we propose focused skill development programs. Chairperson, we propose sector management improvement by investing in data collection and analysis for strategic planning and fostering public-private partnerships. Capacity building for the SMEs, and also implementing certification programs to ensure high standards across the industry, boosting tourist confidence and satisfaction. The Democratic Alliance is also concerned. Attempts to amend the Tourism Act of 2014 has been halted for years, dated as far back as 2019. The tourism time has come now for Minister de Lille, and she has to make sure that these legislative changes are being focused at in order to aim for better regulations and development. Crucial legislation amendment is awaited in at least 4 key areas, and those are registering and regulating short-term rental services to align with accommodation standards, ensuring fair competition and safety. Tourism grading scheme. Number 3, revising levy structures to ensure equitable cost distribution and effective use of collected funds to promote tourism. And fourthly, changes to the implementation of stricter tour guide registrations and trainee requirements to maintain high service standards. Then, Chairperson, our Department of Tourism's website requires critical improvement. This website should portray our beautiful country and is the first window to what tourism in South Africa offers. Millions have been spent on this website only 2 years ago, though navigation is not intuitive, design and content outdated, and the site lacks user-friendly elements and mobile optimization. Addressing these issues with the designer and service provider is essential for improving functionality and user satisfaction. Tourism is a vibrant industry, and our website must reflect this vibrancy, not only for South Africans, but for global users too. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, while the path ahead is fraught with challenges, yet through careful planning, strategic investments, and the necessary legislative changes, we can steer our tourism department to a brighter future. Together, we can ensure that tourism continues to be a vital driver for economic growth and job creation. So, whether your socks are blue, green or rainbow, let us pull it up and explore every hidden opportunity to take tourism in South Africa to the next level. I thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The next speaker is the Honourable Mkhize of the MK. Honourable Members, please note this is also a maiden speech. Welcome, Honourable Member.
Honourable Chairperson, Honourable Members of Parliament, abahlali baseNingizimu Afrika, ngithanda ukunibingelela nonke egameni lika Baba uJacob Gedlehlekisa Zuma, the man of peace, the mastermind of all times. My name is Ntombenhle Mkhize. I rise today representing the MK Party to voice our strong opposition to this budget. The proposed reduction in the budget from 2.5 billion to 2.38 billion represents a decrease of 3.3% in normal terms and 7.58% in real terms. The tourism sector supports service, also known as Program 4, which supports SMMCs and BBBE, is also responsible for capacity building, which has been decreased by a staggering 14.5%. The tourism sector employs approximately 1.5 million individuals. However, many earn less than 12,000 per annum. The proposed working for tourism program under the expanded public works program, which has been allocated 367.8 million, is said to benefit a mere 17,988 people, offering them very low stipends of 5,000 each. The budget that has been allocated for this program has decreased in a real terms by 15.5% for the 23 and 24 financial year. This decrease represents a profound betrayal of the MK Party's commitment to uplift the very communities that sustain this tourism attraction. Infrastructure development. Furthermore, a staggering 52% of the budget is dedicated to marketing South Africa as a tourist destination, overshadowing the urgent need for infrastructure development, which can build impetus for further revenue growth in the future. Marketing efforts cannot succeed without robust and well-maintained tourism infrastructure. Slow implementation and underspending of the capital budget for clear indicators of marketing insufficient within the department. The MK Party rejects this imbalance and calls for a restructured budget that prioritizes substantial investment in local tourism in initiatives to create sustainable jobs and support small community-based businesses. Communication involvement, community involvement and benefits. The tourism budget should prioritize projects that directly benefit local communities, ensuring that the economic benefits of tourism are equitably distributed. These include funding for community-led tourism projects and ensuring that the local communities have a significant stake in tourism development on their land. It is important that village townships and small towns are prioritized in order to draw rural tourism. In future, the department should prioritize working close with Amakosi and the professional houses of traditional leaders. The current capacity building and training and skills development leaves a lot to be designed. The Department of Tourism and the Department of Higher Education through the Sector Education and Training Authority need to review the training that is being offered. Reject outsourcing. The MK Party strongly opposes outsourcing of the Department of Tourism's operations. The budget should focus on strengthening public sector capacities and ensuring that employment targets are met through public investment rather than private sector outsourcing. Accountability and transparency. Finally, the budget must include measures to ensure transparency and accountability in spending. This includes clear reporting on how funds are allocated and used, particularly in projects aimed at community development and infrastructure improvement. The Tourism Research Policy and International Relations Program is allocated 1.34 billion for 2024 and 2025. Yet its outcomes are often unclear and fail to justify such substantial funding. The department must demonstrate a more effective and efficient use of its funds. South African tourism. South African tourism is allocated the lion's share of the department's budget. Honorable Minister, your appointment of a permanent CEO is a step in the right direction, and we hope that the management team has now been stabilized. The growth of South Africa tourism industry is critical to job creation and enterprise development and economic growth. We expect that the new board has hit the road running and will assist to reverse the negative trends that have been experienced since the COVID-19. The marketing of South Africa is any international tourism destination takes place within this agenda, and therefore we expect to see real results soon. Siyafisa ukubona leli komite lisebenza ngokukhulu ukuzikhandla liphinde futhi leqasha abantu abasha. In conclusion, the MK Party stands resolute in its belief that a tourism sector must be built on the foundation of community involvement, robust infrastructure, and accountability. We will not accept a budget that fails to uphold these principles. The MK Party will continue to fight for a vision of tourism that honors our history and empowers our present. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. The next speaker is the Honourable Tito of the EFF.
Yes. Thanks, House Chairperson. Greetings to the leadership of the EFF, our National Chair, Commissar Veronica Mente, and everyone who is present. House Chairperson, the EFF rejects Budget Vote 38 of the Department of Tourism. Why? This budget proposals offers nothing new. No attempts to restructure the sector for the benefit of all, and certainly no attempt to expand our domestic tourism destinations. This sector still remains a highly constricted sector, controlled by only a few white people and exclude the majority of our people. It is white people who owns the launches, who owns nature reserves, and who are in control of even state-owned nature reserves. It is these white people who benefit from the tourism department. Tourists still come to the same destinations controlled by the old boys club. We have not been able to diversify our tourist attraction to the rest of the country. Tourists still come mainly to 3 provinces only, which is the Western Cape, where we are today, Gauteng, and the KwaZulu-Natal. We have immense potential to diversify the sector to other provinces, such as the Eastern Cape, the Limpopo, and the Mpumalanga, for those who are interested in the historical and heritage tourism. We have not been able to expand the sector because the very nature of the South African economy favors those who have accumulated property in the past. Further, there are no consequences for those restricted transformation in the sector. They are aided by the government in excluding black people from this industry. The stringent regulation put in place are SSS entry requirements into the sector are exclusionary, leaving the sector for only white people who have the land and the capital. The overall black participant is at less than 48%. Black women ownership is at less than 10%. Black participants are only found in provinces such as the Limpopo and Mpumalanga, while the Western Cape, KZN and Gauteng are mainly dominated by white participants. House Chairperson, the austerity that seems to changing the entire budget process is going to have a huge impact on the small players in the industry who are by design the black people. This budget is going to hit the very little transformation objectives of the department in a very bad way. The 3.2% reduction will affect key sectors for transformation. The budget allocation for destination development is reduced. This is regrettable as it shows that the priority is on existing tourist destinations which are largely owned and beneficial to only white people. The reduction of the budget allocated to the capacity building programs itself will also mean a serious blow to emerging industry participants. There are immediate things that could be done to address the skewed nature of ownership in this industry. You could become firmer enforcing national parks and state-owned nature reserves to work exclusively with black-owned tourist companies and the establishments. Government could also make it law that state officials only use black-owned establishment for their accommodation, conferences, and their events. You are not doing any of these things because you have this disdainful attitude towards black-owned establishment. We, as the economic freedom fighters, we reject this budget. Thank you, House Chairperson.
Thank you, honourable members. The next speaker is the Honourable Mshlongo on behalf of the IFP.
Honourable Speaker, honourable members, I greet you all. The Department of Tourism has over the last few years faced tremendous challenges, especially through COVID-19 and the fact that South Africa as a country has become less desirable to foreign visitors due to crime and aging infrastructure. One of the biggest drivers for tourism across the world and internally has been our diverse wildlife. This has been a major draw card for the visitors who are prepared to spend a lot of money to see our wildlife assets which do not exist anywhere. The Department of Forest, Fisheries, Environmental does its best to secure revenue through sandparks, which tourism benefits from. Their maintenance of a number of lodges, beds, and biodiversity parks attracts visitors and investors who want to protect the amazing wildlife in South Africa. The department is therefore urged to work with sister departments such as Forestry, Fisheries, and Environment, Parks Works, Transport, and others to promote South Africa as a destination that is unique and growing. Our rural tourism stands to gain the most from the approach, as many of the parks are located deep within the rural areas. Supporting services can be exponentially developed to benefit from our nation assets. In comparison to other countries, we have far too few SMMEs that are able to fully extract the economic benefication of tourism. Many countries are reliant on historical and old lyrics to promote tourism, yet we have an advantage of showing living and breathing creatures that do not exist in other parts of the world apart from the zoos. It is for this reason that the IFP is concerned that the department has not drawn up its MTF in accordance and collaboration with other departments. We have to shift thinking that certain departments operate in a vacuum. The minuscule increase in budget leaves little to hope that this department can turn around its approach to tourism and bring about services to the people that will grow the economy. The previous administration left us with almost no hope as allegations of nepotism to the department's board became a big matter of contention. The department has failed to make available monitoring and evaluation reports on tourism projects and initiatives which are essential for improved oversight and holding the entity accountable. Although the SIT sits with more than 53% of the department's overall budget, defying the constitutional mandate of the parliament has been a consistent streak from its board. Its members, who also do not possess any tourism industry expertise, deliberately do not attend annual performance plan, which is APP, and budget meetings, which is a clear indication of a lack of commitment from the executive. The IFP hopes that the new administration will take into account these concerns seriously and collaborate with other departments in order to streamline government services to the people of the country and grow the economy to end hunger and starvation. Bagwethu, siyathanda sonke ukuvakasha. Ke ngiye Limpopo nje ngaze ngibone nokuthi kunjani. The IFP supports the budget.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mhlongo. The PA, FF Plus, the Honorable Dr. Letlape.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. To the Minister, the Deputy Minister, the DG, the Chair of the Portfolio Committee. I couldn't agree more with the last speaker about promoting our country better to our own citizens. But what would be essential to do that is to make it affordable. There have to be differential tariffs between what we charge German tourists with their strong currency to what we charge South Africans with our battling currency. We need to ensure, Madam Minister, that we go back to encouraging school trips for the largely disadvantaged communities from schools in poor neighborhoods, so that we can give our children hope, so that they can see that there's beauty beyond their own surroundings. Let us make them safe. Work with other ministries to ensure that those trips do not result in fatalities. Let us promote the country to the continent so that we can share and begin to build this Africa that all of us dream of. So the promotion of tourism should not just be to Western countries. Let us ensure that our interconnecting roads in the continent are safe. Let us work with other ministries to ensure that there's rail connections between our countries so that we can have affordable trips that are clean. I come from health, Madam Minister. we have some potential impending gloom called national health insurance, which may be devastating to the livelihoods of many South Africans, that might not be accredited by the new system. We have lots of skills, we have lots of facilities, but they may become redundant. So, Madam Minister, what I implore of you is to begin discussions with your other counterparts about promoting medical tourism, because that can be a source of revenue. I'm not talking about tourism where all of us who are affluent attend outpatients departments in Russia. I'm talking about ordinary citizens that may utilize the skills that we have and the facilities that we have, so we can retain jobs and we can have much needed income. Let us promote knowing your neighborhood so that you can know your country. I was amazed that when I started working 5 years ago, I discovered that there was a tennis club 1.5 kilometers from where I lived, which I had never seen in over 20 years. So let us not underestimate the fact that we South Africans don't explore just our neighborhoods, never mind the country. So once we begin to know our neighborhoods, we can begin to appreciate the beauty of our country. Safety is an issue. If women can't walk safely in their neighborhoods, that is a deterrent for tourism. Let us make the country safe for all of us, in particular for women and children. I wish you well, Minister. You are an example of ethical leadership, and I hope you continue in that vein. Action SA, we support the budget.
Thank you, Honorable Dr. Letlape. The next speaker will be the Honorable the Deputy Minister of Tourism.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. House Chairperson, Honorable Minister, Ms. Patricia Dalil, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, Ms. Lungi Mganga Kabash, Honorable Members of Parliament, the DG and your team, Chairperson and the CEO of South African Tourism, ladies and gentlemen. As we are in the midst of celebrating Madiba's month of July, I would like to convey my appreciation to His Excellency the President for giving me another opportunity to be of service to this great, beautiful country of ours. I also give my gratitude to Minister Dalil, who has shown great warmth, embrace, and support in welcoming me to the Department of Tourism. Chairperson of both the Portfolio Committee and Select Committee and respective members of the Portfolio Committee, I'm really looking forward to working with you all. Through the Minister's leadership, together we have already made our meet and greet to the most important people, the workforce of our Department of Tourism. Without dedicated officials, our work is futile, and service delivery in tourism will be a peril. As we enter a new 7th administration, we all embrace our mandate on tourism with renewed vigor, determination, and commitment as we give expression to the National Development Plan and our mandate of leading sustainable tourism development for inclusive economic growth in South Africa. Tourism captures the rich tapestry of our people, places, and passion, and gives expression to the narrative of South African story. It is celebration of South Africa and continues to be recognized for its immense potential and significant contribution to the economy. Chairperson, we are determined to deliver growth in the tourism sector that is characterized by increase in tourist arrivals, improved length of stay, as well as geographic spread that sees tourism benefits shared across the breadth of our country. This growth must improve the sector's contribution to economic job creation. We are determined to see even more inclusive participation in the tourism economy. Our visitors must be assured excellent experience when they hit our shores. We must assure them of world-class experiences that are uniquely South African. Chairperson, the Tourism Grading Council of South Africa which I'll refer to as TGCSA, will promote excellence in the provision of tourism services, facilities, and product through implementation of a revitalized tourism grading system. The collaboration between the department and SA Tourism intended to expand access to the grading system will be implemented. We will also ensure that the grading system remains world-class and appropriate for our own environment in South Africa. The grading criteria review will be reviewed during 2024-25 financial year. In the recognition of the importance of business to the growth of tourism, we focus on supporting growth in the meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions subsector. As a country, our reputation as destination for business tourism is undisputed. The quality of business events held in South Africa is world-renowned, as the Minister has alluded to. Through the South African National Convention Bureau, we will take advantage of Africa's huge growth opportunity in this subsector. The South African National Convention Bureau will focus on capitalization on previous successes to accelerate growth through the consolidation of multiple national efforts when bidding for international meetings. It also serves to further consolidate and coordinate efforts on a national scale, increasing our capacity to bid for even more business tourism-related events. 22 African countries participated in the show, and 25 SMMEs participated in the development zone, funded and managed by the Department of Tourism. The South African National Convention Bureau is also mandated to create market access platform for South African leisure tourism, business events products, and international trade exhibition. The Department of Tourism Incentive Program, that is TIP or TIP, utilizes these strategic platforms created by South African tourism for market access opportunities for SMMEs that qualify for support through these programs. Chairperson, the department's infrastructure programs aims to refurbish tourism access, increase visitors' experience, support tourism attractions, sustainability, and provide employment opportunities. I'm not going to repeat on what the Minister has alluded to. Tourism remains the world's fastest growing employment sector, but tourism is so much more than generating revenue. To drive growth and recovery, we need to boost the talent pool and ensure its sustainability for future generations. The department implements skills program in line with the National Tourism Sector Strategy, which I'll refer to as NTSS, and the Tourism Sector Human Resource Development Strategy to strategically support the tourism sector's development objectives. The recruitment and selection of participants consider the geographical spread of all municipalities, with a particular focus on villages, towns, and small dorpies, as members has mentioned previously. The training includes a skills development accredited by the Cultural, Arts, Tourism, Hospitalities, Sports Sector Education Training Authority, which is CATCH Sector, and Food and Beverage Sector Education and Tourism Authority. Chairperson, domestic tourism is the backbone of the industry. It fosters social cohesion, cultivates nation building, and inculcates a culture of travel among South Africans. Domestic tourism has flourished impressively. The number of domestic holiday trips surged from 3.1 million in the financial year 2021 to 12.6 million by the year 2023-24, surpassing the 5-year target of 10.8 million. This achievement highlights the sector's resilience and potential, emphasizing the need for continuous effort to enhance tourism infrastructure, experiences, and marketing to sustain and build upon this positive momentum. In conclusion, Chairperson, we would like to emphasize that tourism is a priceless resource. It celebrates the people and places of South Africa and serves as a unifier of the African continent. Let us continue to promote the narrative of the successful South African story. Minister, I'm at your service. I will definitely make this ministry shine and the department. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Deputy Minister. ACDP, UDM, Rise Mzansi, OSA, ATM, Al-Jamaa, NCC.
Chair,
Yes.
I don't know, Chair. I think I've raised this in another committee. I'm very worried.
What point are you raising on?
No, I'm just raising to your attention, Chair.
No. Quote the rule you are rising on. What
No,
is
no,
it
Chair.
that
Just give me an audience for 10 seconds. I'm saying I'm worried about political parties that do not participate in these committees, and I understand it's a party discipline issue, but as Parliament, are we unable to hold political parties accountable for not coming to work? Because this is obviously pickpocketing the state.
I
that
take your
people don't
point.
come to
I
work
take your point,
and we pay them to do this thing. So I'm just want your indulgence on that, Chair. Thank you.
Let me clarify one thing. I take your point. However, there are political parties that are very small. Others have got one, others have got two. And we have sittings that are sitting 3 at the time. Others took ministerial, deputy ministerial positions. Ngisachaza Makawula. Ngisachaza ungicelile ukuthi ngimchazele. So not necessarily that all of them are not there, but we take your point. There are those that are not taking participation in these mini plenaries. Thank you very much. Can we proceed? Honorable Ismail.
Honorable House Chairperson, honorable members, fellow South Africans, tourism is an important sector to South Africa and will be pivotal to our sustained economic growth. According to Statistics South Africa, pre-COVID-19, the sector contributed 3.7% to our gross domestic product. As of 2022, the sector has steadily recovered, contributing 3.5% of our gross domestic product. Yet, there is potential for much more. A London-based think tank, the World Travel and Tourism Council, also in 2022 estimated that by 2032, within the next decade, that the sector could contribute to more than 7.4% of our GDP, creating more than 800,000 jobs. As we face a triple challenge of unemployment, poverty, and inequality, tourism presents us with great opportunities. We have a beautiful country with a wide coastline, great biodiversity, heritage, and amazing people. We need to take advantage of this. With COVID-19 now past, let us seize these opportunities. A distinctive feature of the tourism sector is its ability to contribute directly to SMMEs, allowing for our economy to grow from the ground up. With our current fiscal conditions, there is no money to throw around. Our focus in this 7th Parliament must be to deliver jobs, 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 and more jobs. The 6th Parliament saw issues which this Parliament ought to not repeat. Infamously, there was the issue of the South African Tourism Board and its ill-conceived Tottenham Hotspur deal, which saw the waste of precious taxpayer funds. While the deal was ultimately stopped, it revealed governance irregularities within the department and South African tourism, which must remain in the past. Tied to this is the deal between SAT and the Development Bank of South Africa towards infrastructure spending, which must be looked at with a watchful eye so as to ensure that it is above board, worthwhile for the department, and worthwhile for SMMEs. Another issue is the department's underspending, despite budget cuts. At the end of the financial year, the department underspent approximately 4% of its budget, including on programs such as tourism research and policy, where more than 10 million rand was underspent, as well as destination development, where more than 60 million rand was underspent. Tourism is a growth engine, stimulating investment in infrastructure, promoting sustainable development of cultural and natural heritage. This multifaceted influence demonstrates how tourism is fundamental to economic development. As we navigate difficult financial waters, every rand allocated must have its worth and go directly to the front line in supporting our local entrepreneurs. The province where we currently sit, the Western Cape, provides a good template. From December 2023 to February 2024 alone, nearly 500,000, that is 466,469 international tourists.
Honorable Ismail, can you just hold on? Honorable Linde, you are not allowed to take pictures in the House.
My apology, Chairperson.
Thank you. Can you proceed?
Thank you, Chair. The province where we currently sit, the Western Cape, provides a good template. From December 2023 to February 2024 alone, nearly 500,000, that is 466,469 international tourists visited the city of Cape Town. This supported nearly 10,000, that is 9,329 jobs. Imagine what we can do nationally. While all government departments face budgets, we must face this challenge head-on. Let us ensure that we implement market-related friendly policies that boost both our domestic and international tourist sector. With the government of national unity, the time for politics is over, and we must work hand in hand while ensuring effective oversight. Honourable Minister, the Portfolio Committee is here for your support, yet we will also hold you to account on your annual performance plan. To achieve your goals, Minister, you must ensure, 1, policy certainty in collaboration with businesses, 2, finalize legislation, 3, no irregular and wasteful expenditure, 4, no more financial irregularities, 5, a no-nonsense approach to corruption. There must be no SIU proclamation in this Parliament. 6, cutting bureaucracy and red tape in the issuing of licenses and implementation of projects. And 7, there has to be a marked improvement of internal audit functions. Let us work together in this Parliament to achieve the work that will benefit all South Africans. We dare not fail those who have entrusted us. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Ismail. Honorable Mayecho. 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 My apologies.
Greetings to the Honorable House Chairperson, Honorable Minister and Deputy Minister, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, Honorable members, fellow South Africans. I rise on behalf of the African National Congress to support Budget Vote 38 on tourism. We do so with the basic understanding and appreciation that fiscal policy is an imperative tool which can use effectively to intensify the fight against poverty, inequality, prioritize infrastructure maintenance and investment, as well as advance the country's overall industrialization and employment creation objectives. We advocate for a budget that is redistributive and transformative. Carrying on from the work of the previous administration, we wish to see the upliftment of villages, townships, and small dorpies as the MK party supported this one. We want to see more women, black in particular, and the youth gaining access to opportunities offered by this government in order to change their lives for the better. House Chairperson, we note with concern that transformation within the tourism sector has been moving at a snail pace. However, we believe that we have the right tools at our disposal to effect the necessary change. With political will, effective and progressive policies working together, we certainly can do more. In this term, we implore the department to prioritize the reviewal of the white paper on the development and promotion of tourism in South Africa, the Tourism Act, and the national grading systems. Equally, we need to look at effectively making use of the Tourism BBBE Sector Code as a key vehicle which we can use to accelerate transformation in the tourism sector. The code seeks to address the slow pace of accessibility for previously disadvantaged Black people in the tourism sector across ownership control, management control, skill development, enterprise, and supplier development and socio-economic development. Honorable members, the ANC is concerned that the overall budget allocation to the department decreases by 7.58% in real terms when we compare the budget of 2.46 billion in 2023-24 to 2.38 billion in 2024-25 financial years. We are particularly concerned about the budget cuts in Program 2, Tourism Research, Policy and International Relations by 7.44%, Program 3, Destination Development by 11.4%, and Program 4, Tourism Sector Support Service by 14.59% in real terms. These programs contained several cost drivers, such as the Working for Tourism sub-program that is linked to EPWP and infrastructure project, tourism incentive programs, tourism marketing, and tourism transformation initiatives, which are all critical to job creation, tourism development, and transformation in the sector. Honorable House Chair, however, despite the budget cuts, we hope that the department, in partnership with stakeholders in the private sector, will forge ahead with the plans to implement various youth training programs that focus on improving the visitor experience. These include training on norms and standards for safe tourism operations, which is expected to benefit 250 SMMEs and 3,000 young people, with the aim of creating an estimated 17,988 work opportunities. House Chair, we welcome that over the medium term, 969.3 million, which accounts for 12.9% of the department's total budget, will be allocated to the Working for Transformation program. This will go a long way in supporting our developmental agenda, which at its core is providing economic opportunities for our people and ensuring a better life for all. Honorable Chairperson, history informs us that the ANC has always been at the center of transformative policies to redress the injustices of the past. The recent history of the 6 administrations tells a story of an ANC of the people that has been consistent in its resolve to ensure that the Tourism Equity Fund is released and disbursed in order to assist businesses within this sector to bounce back from the devastating the EFF had its time. We are presenting our issue.
Just a minute. Honorable Niehaus, you are allowed to heckle, but not to an extent where it takes away the attention of the speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you, House Chairperson. The recent history of the 6th administration tells a story of an ANC of the people that has been consistent in its resolve to ensure that the Tourism Equity Fund is released and disbursed in order to assist businesses within this sector to bounce back from the devastating repercussions of COVID-19 pandemic. It saddens us that only 2 companies had benefited from this fund by March 2024. We thus support the committee's recommendation to facilitate engagement to get to the bottom of this, whether through a renewed contractual agreement or the complete cancellation of the Memorandum of Understanding with CIFA Minister. Honorable members, I am pleased to stand here today to bear testimony that indeed the tourism is turning the tide and is on course for full recovery from the crippling effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2023, South Africa welcomed close to 8.5 million international visitors, of which 6.4 million were from the African continent, representing a significant increase of 48.9 compared with 2022 arrivals. During the first quarter of 2024, January to March, we welcomed 2.4 million visitors from the rest of the world, up by 15.4% compared with the same period in 2023. Domestic tourism witnessed a resurgence, with trips surpassing 130% of the 2019 level by the end of 2023. Domestic spending also soared, recording an 80% increase compared to pre-pandemic levels, indicating a strong resurgence in domestic tourism and support for local businesses. House Chairperson, the ANC believes that the intervention that were put in place in the tourism sector recovery plan are yielding the desired results, and we welcome that out of it, a tourism sector master plan has been developed through collaborative efforts between government and the private sector. The plan outlines key focus areas aimed at stimulating demand, enhancing education and skill development, promoting entrepreneurship and economic growth, improving infrastructure and connectivity, fostering social cohesion and well-being, and lastly, promoting regional cooperation. Honorable House Chairperson, as I conclude, allow me to indicate that in our 55th National Conference, the ANC has resolved to develop and manage emerging technologies and application for the enablement of policies for sectors such as tourism, banking, agriculture, and creative industries. In essence, we are saying that technology is a key component in the efficiency and effectiveness of the sector. In today's fast-evolving world, it is imperative that our tourism products adapt to new technologies and the fourth industrial revolution. The integration of digital solutions has enhanced visitor experience, from virtual tours of our heritage sites to the use of personalizing travel itineraries. House Chair, smart tourism initiatives, including the use of big data analytics, have improved our understanding of tourist preferences, allowing for more targeted and efficient marketing strategy. Let's embrace the 4IR and employ it extensively to better our service offering. Comrade Chair, as I'm about to sit down, the meaning of budget rejection by MK and the EFF, what does it mean? It means no implementation of service delivery. It means no benefits for entrepreneurs. It means that we should feel pity as voters at home for those who voted for MK party as well as the EFF. And I think they must be disappointed in the way that this budget is being rejected by both MK party and the EFF. I thank you, Comrade Chair.
Ayangjalo, comrade.
Thank you.
Hlala phansi. Ukufanele uhlala phansi.
Order, honorable members. Order. Thank you very much.
Once upon a time,
Order,
30
honorable
years.
members. Can you please not repeat that? Uyazazi lo ngikhuluma naye. Yebo. The next and last speaker is the Honorable the Minister of Tourism.
Thank you, Chairperson. I will certainly get copies of all the speeches of the members and look at all your recommendations, and thank you for that. Honourable Chairperson, thank you for your suggestions, and I agree with you that budget must follow function. and also the DDM model. There are 44 districts in our country and 8 metros, and we must have tourism plan in all 44 districts. Encourage school children. We had just completed 6 high schools in the Western Cape. We're rolling it out to the rest of the country to inform matriculants about the opportunities in tourism. Honourable Lindy, Honourable Member Lindy, yes. What you must understand is that the tourism sector was the worst hit by COVID. The past 5 years, we've rebuilt it, and we've been very successful. Domestic tourism already exceeded 2019 targets. International targets exceeded by the end of May 2024. So we've made great progress. Globally, we've moved up 5 ranks, and what I will do is that just in the past financial year, I will share the list with all members of the Portfolio Committee of all the top spots that we've won in the world, including the Daily Telegraph. But I agree there's always room for improvement. Out of the 19 bids, we've got 19 conferences in this financial year that we've won the bids for. It's going to bring in over 84 million rand and over 3,000 delegates. So we are making progress. Honourable Mkhize, on the EPWP program, we've put aside 266 million rand. And I want to assure you that we're working closely with an organization called Satu Vitu. Satu Vitu deals with all the townships, the villages, the small dorpies, and we hosted an expo for them in the beginning of the year because we must diversify our tourism offering. We can't just tell South Africa about safaris and Table Mountain. We are now including all our small dorpies and villages in our marketing. The honourable member of the EFF, I can share the budget for the Transformation Council. We've got a Transformation Fund, we've got the Tourism Equity Fund, we've got the incentives, and all of those are used to push transformation in the sector. Honourable member of the IFP, yes, certainly we engage quarterly with all 9 MECs of the provinces. That includes SALGA, and the medium-term strategic framework. We must still develop the plan for the next 5 years. What we are talking about here is the last year, financial year, for the 6th administration. To Action SA, thank you for the support. I accept all your recommendations, you know, the differentiated rates. It's only being implemented in some of our national parks, but we need to extend it to hotels and to other establishments also. Medical tourism is promoted big time by the private sector, and I agree with you. A lot of resources is there. We've got, for the high end of the market, you know, there are a lot of medical tourists coming to our country. But we must explore more with our neighboring countries. As South Africans, you know, we see out of the 8.5 million tourists we received last year, 6.4 million comes from Africa. But we as South Africans must also go and visit our neighboring countries. Yes, I will give you a full support on the safety forum and the progress that we have made there. Honourable Ismail, I agree with you. There's always room for improvement. We must deliver more jobs. Yes, and we've saved the country 1 billion rand by stopping the Tottenham Hotspurs deal. It should have never happened in the first place. But just April this year, we saved the country another 35 million rand, where we discovered that we've paid invoices where service providers did not even deliver the service. I don't want to smell corruption in this department, and we will act together with the SIU. We're waiting on a proclamation from the President to be signed to investigate all the other allegations in SA tourism, because we want to continue to deliver services and not run after crooks all the time. Honourable member from the ANC, the white paper has gone out for public participation. We've now incorporated the comments from the public, and I will be taking it back to Cabinet before the end of August for implementation. Some of the budget cuts has not really impacted that much on the department. It's because it's about time that all government departments must go back to zero-based budgeting. Because over the years, departments just add on CPI, inflation, and with the result is we're sitting with these bloated budgets. But if you look at the impact of what we spend the money on, you can't even measure the impact. So yes, I agree with you that the budget cuts is not good for us. And then on the Tourism Equity Fund, it was a struggle. I personally went to AfriForum and Solidarity to get a settlement. 1.2 billion rand. We started calling for applications in November of 2023. When I checked last week, we only had approved 5 and 1 had been cancelled. I've already set up a meeting with Minister Stella and Barry Abrams, the minister where SIFA reports to. I've instructed the DG that we must review the service level agreement with SIFA. SIFA seem to be living in a different country. They don't understand how many unemployed people we have. They don't understand that we want to use the money to transform the sector. So I'm definitely onto that. And then lastly, the honourable member from the ANC, I agree with you about technology and digital. Most government departments are resistant to digital and technology. You talk about the 4IRR, Fourth Industrial Revolution. It's just a buzzword. Already the world is moving to artificial intelligence. We've not even spoken about artificial intelligence. And what we're going to make sure in the next 5 years, our department is going to be led by technology. And it will make us more efficient and effective,
Minister,
and we will make sure that we take...
Your Deputy Minister was very generous with extra
with the
2
time.
minutes.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought I'm getting the time of the members who didn't speak. Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. Thank you very much.
No, you only share with your Deputy Minister. Thank you very much. Honourable members, that concludes the debate and the business of this mini plenary session. The mini plenary will now rise. Thank you.